First of all, of course, during these 20 years activities, we developed a lot of different instruments and tools for quality assurance. But today I will share the most valuable two of them. If we mapping all activities during these 20 years, we can divide them into three main phases. The first period can be called no standardized approach, because during this year, each of adult education centers use different mechanisms, processes, tools and instruments for monitoring. For example, phone call checks, tests and exams. And DVV International Armenia countryside, we used narrative and financial reports as a tool for monitoring and evaluation. About 5 years ago, we initiated the processes of harmonization and developed some kind of standardized monitoring approach and developed Excel-based unified reporting tools. And these tools now became a standard for all adult education centers. But due to trends of digitalization and also the problems with document Excels, now we are initiating, at the end of last year, we create the online software platform, about which I will talk about later. Apart from this, if we discuss the ecosystem of monitoring according to the levels, we can have 4 cross-cutting levels. The first level is in-house monitoring and reporting by adult education centers. The second one is monitoring by DVV International Armenia country office, then monitoring and evaluation by independent researchers, and also evaluation by DVV International. As you can see, the first and second levels are mostly internal. And for example, each of our adult education center has a monitoring specialist who is responsible for all documentation and reporting processes. And now I wanted to share with you one good experience and example of external evaluation. The last year, with involvement of 2 independent researchers, we prepared some kind of external evaluation, and our expert team developed this. For baseline and background, our expert team used the main processes of adult education centers, and also our DVV Curriculum Institutionale tool. And the result of this preparation, experts team evaluate the adult education centers in 4 domains: need assessment, trainings, trainers, and participants. The methodology of this evaluation include some kind of discussions and meetings with key stakeholders, for example, the board members, the staff members, the trainers, and also in-depth interviews with our beneficiary groups and also the alumni of adult education programs. In this slide, you can see some kind of numerical result of the ranking processes, but also the qualitative key sum findings. For example, in the first domain, need assessment domain, we have a good practices of regular need assessment, but we need to improve our need assessment methodology and tools. And another example is for trainers domain. We have a good practices and experienced and active trainers, but all of us need, and the trainers also need to improve their andragogical capacities. I know the most important question in this research, how we use the results and outputs, these ranking processes for our strategy and planning. And for example, for us, this is so baseline and background for strategic planning yearly. For example, in a first domain, now the need assessment processes is mandatory for our adult education centers, community centers, and partners too. But another lessons learned from trainers domain is that we do regularly capacity building interventions for our adult education staff and trainers. Summarizing of this work, I would like to mention that we are so appreciate this kind of activity because in everyday written works, this is so nice opportunity to see and to learn evidence-based opinion and view for our works. And my lovely part of this presentation, as I mentioned, in the end of last year, we create some kind of online soft platform. And the goal of this initiative is exchange of information and documentation between us and our adult education centers, and also the digitalization of monitoring, evaluation, and learning processes. And now, let's go to the website and see the platform in the real time. Just a minute. Mm-hmm. Not working.